Greetings and salutes, everyone. Welcome back to Talkin' Tactical. I know I took like a week off. I went down a rabbit hole of thought in that time. It wasn't fun. Uh, but yeah, so we're going to skip the tertiaries tonight, minus the fact of we got Shadow Ghost here with us this evening. How you doing, my man?
Hold on, everybody.
Uh, this is kind of more of a not lighthearted affair subject. I mean, for all we know, this could just get like me make a whole bunch of enemies out of this. I don't know. We've
Well,
talked
I
about.
think I'm along for the ride at this point, so it won't just be you. So
um, but yeah. So I've done multiple videos on subjects of things that I think people don't talk about enough in airsoft. And in this last 2-ish years or so, 2+ ish years of my return into airsoft, of getting into the community, meeting a whole bunch of really cool people, uh, through like live stream chats and all that stuff, and Discord and friends branching from there. Um, and sitting silently in the background and watching things and being in live streams and Discords and paying attention to conversations of, I'm starting to see a schism. And I've talked to other people about it where this schism is growing, where there's starting to become like a divide between the community and retailers. If I'm saying that correct, Ghost.
yeah. It's I've seen it. We've both heard it from different sides. On Discord or in person, or on YouTube, on different social media platforms. It seems to be unfortunately happening, and I
Mm-hmm.
think divide is the best way to kind of put it. Like it's them over here and the players over here type thing, and it's really sad to see. But yeah, you are correct.
And I mean, some people may say I'm over analyzing things, but it's a lot of small things. And I've said this in past videos before. Uh,
Hmm.
I take my business to places that treat me like a person, not a number. Now there are
Yeah.
places that do that. Trust me, don't get me wrong. I'm not lumping all of them in together, nor am I
Hmm.
leaving anybody out, because some people made mistakes here and there and whatnot. But it's just a growing knife in the back type situation. Where
Yeah, I
they
don't think it's definitely like one individual. I don't think they're all a big divide or bad companies out there, but unfortunately, there are some that have. I'm not going to necessarily even say they're bad companies. It's just their behavior hasn't been exactly supportive of the airsoft community as far as players, in my opinion, and it's starting to get a little worse.
yeah, yeah. And a lot of it for me has been silence.
Hmm.
Silence is a big thing. Uh, Communication is terrible. A lot of,
Yeah.
but in this week hiatus, when I say it wasn't fun, guys, is like, as I've always been honest on this channel, and uh, I thought about like deleting everything. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it can be hard sometimes. When you sit back and you look at this, and it's like negativity and negativity and negativity, it's hard to continuously try to be positive. That can be very difficult.
yeah, yeah, and that's usually when I either take breaks because of holidays or vacation things. Those are normal, but
Hmm.
like when I take mental breaks, it struggles with things. Not just the channel, but like life in general.
Yeah.
But this one was
Oh
kind
yeah.
of brought. This one was kind of brought on, connected to somewhat airsoft. Uh,
Hmm.
we're not gonna say any names of companies tonight.
No.
I'm not trying to draw ire. I'm just doing, in prepping for the show and talking with Ghost a little bit. I've had a hard time collectively bargaining my, or not bargaining, collectively gathering my thoughts on how to approach this tonight, because I don't want to say anybody is a total shit job company. Like, I just,
Yeah.
give my piece on whatever, and I will just stop giving business. I don't
Yeah.
try to be antagonizing in any way, shape, or form, and I usually sometimes just have no filter and just call shit out and get in trouble. But it is what it is. Sometimes truth is better than silence. Um,
Well, and I think you look at it in a lot of the same way I do. I'm not out here to ever go after a company. I do not like to send negativity out into the world. That is not what I'm about one bit. Um, but I'm also feel a responsibility doing what we do and communicating with the public and doing a show that we have to be honest
yeah,
and we have to show the whole story, not just one perspective of it. And when you've reached out to companies, again, we're not going to give names. I agree with Scroy on this. There's no point in, sorry, choking myself there. There's no
no,
point in um, doing that. But when you've reached out multiple times trying to communicate with companies and don't get response, and the silence is deafening,
mm-hmm.
it's hard to stay positive at that point. That it can be something that's very difficult. I mean, after OP Blacklist, I actually, I am not saying anything negative about that, but I took a little bit of a break for a little bit and
Mm-hmm.
let my head reset a little bit before I came back in. And I decided something in that time span myself was that's it. I'm going to take that approach of not always being so nice.
Yeah,
Sure, some people have caught some of my episodes in the last week or so, and I have been very honest out there about my view on some of these companies, not just retailers, but Milsim event companies, generally people involved in airsoft. And it's like 90% of them are out there really trying to do good things in
oh
airsoft.
yeah, yeah, 100%. It's
But then there's a few out
mm-hmm.
there, and it is really, it is unfortunately causing a divide and frustration. And I think the biggest thing is to start sitting down, talking to each other, and communicating, especially if you are in the airsoft business. I mean, there's a lot to it that I've noticed that have just, the deeper I get into it, the more I'm like, whoa, that's not necessarily the best policy, or why, or is
Yeah,
it being done this way?
yeah, but without kind of cutting any dice about it, again, I just I made a review deal that I got offered, and I just never received anything. Haven't heard anything in a while, and I've just, instead of asking about it anymore, I have just decided to let it lie where it's at. I guess I don't know. It just it I want to say I feel disrespected, but at the same time, it, whatever. uh,
I mean, it is what it is. Unfortunately, that is part of it. I mean, even if it wasn't ever meant in disrespect, I think, as you said earlier, silence is golden. It
yeah,
says so much, and it sucks, especially when you're working with somebody that's reached out, they've talked to you, they've made communications, they've talked about plans, and then also in silence.
yeah,
Uh, I've been
and
with you on that one since day one. I'm not going to drop names, but that one,
eh,
I'm glad I
I,
was kind of on the sidelines for.
I'm just
This is the best part.
I'm not gonna get into details. I'm not gonna badmouth them
Yeah,
because the guys that I actually interact with and the guys that I'm working with, the
some guys.
employees, are awesome dudes,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't hold anything against them for any of this. And it's just, I don't know. I just I hit the point with it where I'm just like, I'm done. I'm just, I'm not gonna be butthurt about it. I'm just gonna move on. I'm gonna stop being butthurt about it essentially because I don't know. I'm just, I feel disappointed. I feel let
Yeah,
down.
and
Like, it's one of those things where it's just like,
yeah,
okay,
you,
cool.
you were there. You got your hopes up of maybe having a really cool relationship with that, and seeing where that could possibly go and further you in the YouTube world, which is always, I think, a big goal of all of ours is to
Yeah,
bring more and
and
further this.
I and that's why I appreciated the offers. Like it was gonna be help for the channel.
Mm, yeah, which is hard. People don't get it. It's like I've had people come to me and they're like, "Hey, man, I would love to see you at more events and go out to more milsims and stuff like that." I'm like, I'm a private channel, right? I'm not actually
Mm.
sponsored or endorsed by anybody. I'm kind of doing this on my own. Oh, was it different? Well, it kind of is because when you get into those business relationships, it kind of can change the development of your page, but it can also make it better. But when one of those bigger companies falls through, man, it's like the wind just gets taken out of sails, and you have to completely re-navigate everything and figure out which way you're going. It can be very difficult, and it's hard.
Mm.
It's a very, I think Jason actually, I just looked over in the chat, says his best. It's a very frustrating situation at that point.
Yeah, and yeah, and I'm done being frustrated over it. That's where I
Hmm.
hit the point. And like I said, I'm not trying to badmouth anybody. It
Yeah.
is what it is. This is why I say I feel like I'm. It's the treated like a number thing. So, uh, I'm not gonna like boycott them or stop shopping there
No.
because I mean I still have a relationship with them on some level. Um,
Hmm. Hmm. And
so
they are
and I'm
generally
and that's
a
why I'm trying
good
to
company
I'm
to
not trying
purchase
to
from.
and I'm not trying to tiptoe around this. I'm not trying
Mm.
to eggshell walk this. I'm just trying to be as polite as possible about it.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not driving their name in the dirt, and I'm not saying don't work with them or don't go there. That's why we're not saying names. Period. Like
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. But it's just my experience so
And
far. It just I need to I guess step back.
And I think what we're saying about them could be said about a few different airsoft retailers right now. It's not just one. I want to point that out.
No,
It isn't just one. I've
no,
seen behaviors
no.
like this out of a few lately, where markets are just, it feels like, are getting missed by. I mean,
Mm.
I'm not trying to be mean, but squirrel, how the heck do you even survive out there in the Midwest, bro?
Ah, God.
Like,
Aha.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, dude.
See,
You're like in no man's land out there.
that's the other reason why I'm super critical about retailers cuz I have to shop online for everything. I
Hmm.
like there's and the funny thing is there was a store that opened up like last year up in Minnesota and I was going to go check it out when I had some free time. But I found out their physical location is closed. They only have the online store, and their physical location hops at events.
Yeah, I've actually seen that at a few. Like they have a trailer
I
type
mean,
thing that they
that's
go to.
cool.
That's
That's
cool.
cool.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's like, damn. So I only have one store option, which is a cool store. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, no, like this region specificity crap. Like that's another thing that's a point of frustration. I think with the like, oh
I
man,
didn't realize how bad it was in the Midwest till recently. I was up in Ohio and Kentucky. Big shout out to the guys that hosted me when I was in that area. Awesome, awesome. I mean, like these guys were cool. They picked me up at the airport, shuttled me to the event, shuttled me back to the airport. They were there the whole time. But one of the funniest things was I got out and I'm like, all right, so do we want to pick up like any red gas because it could be cold out there where we're going? Do we pick up some BBs, anything like that before we get up to the event? And I got a really good laugh going, no, don't worry. We've already ordered it. There is no place to purchase it. You have to order it pre-hand. So I'm like, what do you
no.
mean? You're like, no. Like, you mean it's an hour away, right? No, try like 4.5, 5. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
what?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. What do you do if you purchase something you have to return it? Oh, you mail it back.
Yeah.
Okay, this takes dedication. I'm just saying, for my Midwestern airsofters out there, I love y'all. Y'all have so much more dedication to this than us East Coast boys. Like, I pick
Uh,
something up, it doesn't work. It's not that hard for me to return the item. I mean, it can be a little difficult. I have a custom guy 15 minutes down the road from my house that I can take it
like
to. Yeah.
like when like the whole divide of the community thing of just like
Hmm.
when I say anyone out there want to open a store in the Midwest, I'll work for you. Like it's one of
Oh,
those
if I
type
had the
of
capital,
things. Like it's
seriously, if I had the capital, oh,
there are people in the Midwest all over the place that play airsoft, and
hmm,
there are a lucky few that are close to something, but everywhere else it's bare. Like for me, it's a barren fucking wasteland.
yeah, it's crazy. I've met like so many airsofters from the Midwest. And my buddy Cutter, who got me into this sport, Cutter Customs. If any of you guys are out there in my area of Florida and you're looking for something, talk to that guy. Got a raffle going on to promote his stuff with some patches for a beautiful AK. Get a hold of Cutter Custom Airsoft. Amazing stuff. But he kind of got me into it. And as I've gone, I keep meeting all these cool Midwesterners like Chicago, out where you're at. I've met guys in Kentucky, near Ohio, all these places. And I'm like, so where do you guys shop at? And they're like, online.
Yeah,
And retailers, pay attention to this. I'm like, God, this
I
is
mean,
a
don't
beautiful market
like I
just
said,
waiting to be
it
opened.
it, it's there's a lucky few spots, but
Yeah.
I expansion needs to happen, guys. Like
Hmm.
that's how you support the community. You
Well,
expand.
I mean, it even feels like it a little bit down here in the southeast. We're starting to see it a little bit more, but nothing compared to when I talk to people about the West Coast.
Oh,
My God,
dude,
man, it's like a
it
mecca over there for airsoft stores right now.
it's on it's West Coast and East Coast. Like this, like, and I yeah, I would also include that in the division of the divide.
Hmm.
Just because there's a literal chunk. Like we get events. There's events around here, but they're like eight no stores.
Your
like
stores have to show up on the back of a pickup truck to unload and be set up at the field. That's your store.
yeah, or the local field store, which they got stuff, but it's limited.
Yeah, I mean, and
They
and
got the
that's the thing. We
basics.
don't.
They have the important things.
I have to say, right now, we here in my area of Florida in the southeast on the west coast of Florida do not have a major retailer.
Oh my
We
god.
have a few small states,
Uh,
but no, or stores, but nothing like big. Um,
I straight up agree with what Plasma just put in the chat. There should be an Iowa discount. Give me free shipping simply for living here.
hey, I mean, that's what I'm saying. You want to play against some tough people who love this sport, who just
Oh man,
absolutely love it. You go play with the Midwesters. And yeah, I think I just seen Cutter. He listed, I think, what, 4 or 5 right there in Florida.
yeah.
Now, I have to admit, I want to point out to people, Florida's a lot bigger state than you think. For me to
Mm-hmm.
get to Miami is a 6 hour drive. I just want to, it's not like it's always just because
Oh
you
no.
have it here. But compared to some of the people I've talked to in the Midwest, and they're talking 12 hours or more to get to a store. And who I was talking to recently said it was like 4.5, 5 hours to go to a field just to get to a field to play.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah. That I
dude,
don't remember who that was in
I,
Discord.
that is crazy to me. I mean, I love this hobby. I absolutely love it. I want to see the hobby turn into a professional sport.
Oh, of
Until it
course.
does, driving 5 hours on a regular basis to play airsoft is some
Oh,
dedication.
I tell you what. Like, unfortunately, I have to cancel my plans for trying to make it to Airsoft this weekend
Hmm.
because the California trip. But um,
Calgary trip's important though. It's
yeah.
important.
Uh, but that's still a 2.5 hour drive there and back.
Yeah.
Like that's 5 hours of driving to go play airsoft.
Hmm.
Which, don't get me wrong, I love airsoft and I do that drive when I can, but it's exhausting.
Yeah, this is where I feel lucky. I have like an hour and a half drive, I think, to get to Black Tiger. maybe an hour drive to get over to CIA. I don't know if how many people out there have heard of CIA. I think we're about as lucky as can be sometimes in Tampa with that one. Competitive indoor airsoft is an amazing place to get to play in Tampa airsoft. That's where we are, I admit, very
Mm,
lucky is having the fields local right here. I mean, at least to me, that's local.
mm.
But when I hear some of these guys that are driving the like out there,
Oh
I'm
yeah,
like,
man.
dude, yeah, I'm gonna drive out, play all day, sleep in my car, drive back the next day.
Oh,
Wow, man. I remember doing stuff like that for concerts when I was younger, but yeah,
like,
that's some
and that's the thing
dedication.
is like it's either I do the 2.5 hour drive, or I
Hmm.
do a 4 hour drive. Which option?
Yeah.
Like,
So for us, it's like indoor, outdoor, indoor, outdoor.
yeah,
Like we,
and
and we're getting so much more. But then I talk, and it's getting better on a constant basis down here. I've tried talking to retail stores about this, like the bigger ones. Again, not trying to drop names, but like the bigger airsoft retail stores going, hey, it's time to think about hitting somewhere in the Tampa Bay area. It's time to come down and hit the southeast market. Um, but they still haven't made that big push. We are
yeah,
starting to see smaller stores popping up, but we still haven't seen the big push from the big retailers. And it's like, guys, I would love it, but I can't fly to Vegas just to go to your really cool store, or I can't fly out to
and
LA just to
and
go to airsoft store. I love to, but
I can say for a matter of fact, granted, yes, the Midwest is mainly peppered with paintballers, um, but airsoft market out here, it's untapped,
oh yeah,
untapped.
dude, I was watching an event that happened in Northwest Arkansas like 2 weekends ago. Amazing amount of players that airsoft hit that field right on the border of Arkansas and Oklahoma. And I had talked to one of the people that competed in the event, and I said, "So, like, which airsoft store put it on?" He goes, "No, it was an event company." I was like, "So, where's your local store?" He goes, "We have one in Oklahoma City, and then there was one in Little Rock, so it was kind of in the middle." So each direction basically made that event about 3.5, 4 hours from the closest airsoft store. But
Mm,
you still have that huge of amount of people still showing up to throw off. I think it was a close to 400 people game.
yeah, yeah,
That's
oh
a
yeah,
big market.
yeah,
That's a big market.
yeah. Well, and I mean that's also not including that a lot of people travel long distances for larger events, but still, like a large
Yeah,
chunk of those people are relatively local.
local. Mhm. And the more people like me see it, the more I'm going to want to travel to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you'll feel the dreams adjective. If you build it, they will come.
That is correct. That is correct.
So, I mean, if we
Like
like
I
to,
said, anybody want to open a store in Iowa? Just help with moving expenses if I gotta move, and I'll work the store.
I would
like,
join you with that, but I don't think Mrs. Ghost is letting me move to Iowa anytime soon.
it, yeah,
Oh,
uh,
but I have to agree. I think the location, in a weird way, is kind of causing that divide because you're having to deal with other companies and they're farther away and then lack of communication and you go and search for items and out of stock, out of stock, out of stock, which I mean, if any company is watching
well,
right
and
now, I'm not putting it out, but please go on and if you know you're not getting an item back in stock, it's discontinued or it's not going to be made again, remove it from the site, guys.
yeah,
Please.
yeah, and yeah, and I've found that it's kind of like hit and miss, but for the most part, the smaller companies are the winners in customer service aspect. Um, but it just it also it just oof, and shipping kills, man. Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's fun. It is. I mean, I think that's it's hard when you're looking
That's
at
something that I can bitch about all day and they can't change. It is what it
yeah, but
is.
I don't know what to say towards them on that because there's nothing. All right, Uncle Sam, could you do something about the shipping? It's not really the retail I can
Yeah,
yell
no,
at about
no,
this. You know,
no.
I mean,
Like we
you
can
know,
we it's just like, we're with cost of things going up and whatnot as well, we can bitch about it all day long, but ain't shit we can do about it.
no, we're not that type of show. Somebody asked me recently on that. I'm like, I'm not that type of
No,
analyst. I am an airsoft
no, no,
analyst. I am
no.
not that type of analyst. Not in the same ballpark.
Mm-mm.
So and I think that's something that I think some of the bigger companies though, there are some that offer deals. The more you spend, the free shipping. There
Yeah.
are ways to kind of get around that, but boy, some of those are pretty high to get that free shipping.
Yeah. And now this isn't this and this can go out to all like all companies. I don't care if it's cheap, just make it cheap. Or offer me a coupon or something, or bring down that free shipping requirement for
And
like
just stack it down a little
for
bit.
like sales or something.
Hmm.
You know?
Like or bundle items. You bought 4 items. We'll toss in the shipping together. Something. I mean, like,
Yeah.
come on, man. I'm not gonna at one time buy $200 worth of BBs. But BBs do add up in shipping cost, and they're not
Yeah, they
the
do.
lightest.
With like, although you're kind of getting one over on that one because the weight in shipping on that alone, in $200 of BBs.
That's true. That's true. Pickup truck showing up on my BBs.
Take it off with a forklift and just pallet.
I'm having a good weekend. I don't know about you.
But yeah, I mean, anybody out there in the comments have your own experience with the feeling of this divide between retailer and community? As much as
Curious from
some
my own
try,
side.
there are some that try in a deceitful manner as well, in guilt trip. Ew, gross.
Definitely. I was wondering if you were going to tap on that one. The guilt trip thing. I've seen it used now. I don't like it. I'm gonna blast you if I see it on mine, and I'm gonna call you directly out on your name if I catch it on my channel. I will not do that with Squirrely. This is his show
Mm.
tonight. But I'm putting that out there. Do not guilt trip your customers. That is a bad way to do business. I understand we're all trying to make it out there. We're all trying to stay in support. It's hard times for all of us. Even Ghost over here is feeling it. It is
Mm.
hard times for everybody on the budget. But do not go or guilt somebody into going, well, we can't continuously keep doing this or we can't do that. We can't if you don't purchase something. That is not a good way to do business. I knew of one company that was doing it. They have stopped, from my understanding, for the most part recently.
Oh, I've
And
seen
then
it.
I found another
I've
company that was doing.
yeah, I've seen it a few different times from a few different people.
Yeah, it was like I seen it one out of major, and I think that had been possibly talked to about, and then all of a sudden, boom, I seen it at another one, and I'm like, oh
Yeah.
come on, like this should not be a trend. Don't make that a trend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Yeah.
My own personal thing that I
Mm.
feel is a major divide between the players and the retail side of things is understanding when you're not doing a favor for your customers. You're acting like you're doing a favor for them, but in reality, it's a form of advertisement. I
Mm.
don't like that. That to me is not necessarily a great way to do business. I admit my channel is doing a giveaway right now. Once we hit 100 subscribers, will be giving away a mystery box item that I get in here. It's going to be given to the customer or
Not
out to my
sponsored
viewers.
by Shadow Ghost.
Yeah, but I will straight up put it right now. That isn't just for them out there. That helps me. Every
Yeah.
one of those people that go out there and they hit subscribe, that helps me. I'm not making it out like you're doing me this,
No.
I'm doing this huge favor for you for doing this and raffling this off. And there's been several out there that put it off like that. Like they're doing us this huge favor by giving us a giveaway or a give back or this. Do not forget to do that. You're purchasing something, you're spending money to participate in that. This is not a favor system. This is another form of advertisement. It's no different than ladies' night at a bar or a buy one, get one free thing. They are making money off of these giveaways. Stop acting like you're not.
Got him fist pounding. Damn. Yeah, I 100% agree. It is. Uh-oh. Did I lose audio from Ghost? I can't hear you anymore, man.
Can you not hear me?
Oh, nope, there it's back. I can.
Yeah, I was just quiet for a second reading some
Oh.
of the chats. I'm sorry.
Oh. I was like, wow, it got quiet for a second.
Yeah, I was letting you go and talk, and I was reading. Jason has a little thing in here, and it seems like Shadow put something. I was just trying to catch up with what they were saying.
Yeah, but no, damn, no, you got fist pounding on that one, and I agree. I mean, giveaways are cool, but at the same time,
Yeah,
it's the bait and switch.
mm-hmm. Especially when you're a retailer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. For us as YouTubers, I mean, straight, I am not in the monetary zone.
Yeah,
I'm not.
no.
I'm not in that subscriber list. Who knows what the future holds? Hey, hit that subscribe button. But hit my boy Squirrely up here. I mean, I'm sure he would love to just YouTube all day.
Yeah.
If y'all really want to make it that way,
Oh,
he'd be more than happy to put videos out like that.
Oh man, if I got comfortable enough with a deal where I could literally make YouTube videos all day every day of Airsoft and like live off that, yes.
Yeah,
Like
I'm the first person
come
to
the
admit,
hell on. Give me an excuse to do cosplay stuff and make videos out of cosplay.
yeah, but I'm the
like,
first person to admit this is a symbiotic relationship. The
yeah.
more you subscribe, the better off I am. So literally by me putting this carrot of a giveaway in front of you, it's to get you to subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is
Yeah.
the whole thing behind it. And everybody's like, well, it's for the community.
Yeah, like
Kinda. No, they don't have to do it, but you can't tell me it doesn't encourage people to spend more money.
Mm-hmm.
That is a reality. And there's lots of companies that do it. There's lots of airsofters that do it, but don't guilt people into doing it.
Correct.
Don't come out and say, if you don't purchase items, we can't continuously do this. No, you're acting like you're not making money.
Oh yeah.
You're making money.
Oh yeah. Like it's the bait and switch. Here's a Twinkie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And there's nothing wrong with it. Just don't make me feel bad about it that time. I mean, I'm sorry. Not every week can somebody come in and like just drop so much money. And it's like, well, don't make me, when I come to watch who wins this giveaway, because they could spend some money, don't make me feel bad that I didn't spend some money. That's not cool.
Yeah. And like you said, there were a couple of things in the chat that got put in. Jason said, my big thing is major retailers seem to only care about excuse me, players in the West Coast. Drives me nuts. Yeah, that's the region specificity that we talked about earlier.
Yeah,
it's insane.
They seem to be the ones that get promoted more. Not trying to say anything, but West Coast airsofters are the ones we seem to see a lot more. To be honest, a lot of the big retail companies are out there in the West Coast.
And Shadow made a very Team Shadow Airsoft there made a very good point. We're not making money on YouTube, and it's literally pennies for hours and hours of work.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I'm sure every single one of us that have started doing this can say the amount of passion and money and time that it takes to do this is insane.
It really is. You don't even realize it when you
even on a budget.
Oh yeah.
So it's boy, and
I
especially
remember,
airsoft.
yeah, I remember getting into airsoft at first, and again, I'll mention them before. I was very lucky to have a buddy that helped me with some of the equipment and some of the gear, and let me play with his rifles in the beginning. I was very, very lucky. But then when it came to this, to YouTube and doing things on YouTube, and I had friends come up and they're like, "Hey, man, we would love to see you do this to give your opinion, as a veteran, as somebody who understands this type of tech and things like that." And I was like, "Okay, cool." I had no idea the diving board I was jumping off
Yeah.
into. I mean, wow. The hours of editing, the hours of research, the hours of just figuring out the right lighting angle. I mean, it's pennies on the dollar. But I have to put down, it also comes to with the retail companies and doing certain types of giveaways and stuff like that. They're in a different league than we are. And what Jason's
Hmm.
talking about is sometimes being on the East Coast, it does feel like you're out here, and I'm sure in the Midwest, I can't speak for it, I'm not there, but you almost feel like you're a little on the island away from the mainland, and you're trying to keep up with
Uh,
that.
I've lived that life. Um, yeah, it's. I mean, the barren wasteland aspect of the region stuff with that, eh, plus the starting the YouTube channel with the pinching pennies and everything. Like it's a constant feeling of drowning. I guess
Frustration.
yeah, that's phew, yeah.
And I actually see Team Shadow Airsoft. He just put a comment. I want to read this. It's perfect for what we're talking. A YouTuber needs to make this a full time job to even start getting money from a YouTube. And
Yep.
then don't forget, it's an income for no income for probably over a year for those 40+ hour weeks. And that is 100%
Yeah.
true. And it's even harder when it feels like you're not being pushed by certain social media platforms and
Hmm.
certain video platforms. And it doesn't help when you start to notice that even if they realize they're doing it or not, the companies that are out there a little bit more on the West Coast are not as quick to work with Midwest or with the East
Yeah.
Coast groups. And I don't understand it. I've seen even East Coast companies that are like, I'm not going to. This ain't freaking 90s rap. Who cares about West Coast, East Coast crap, man? This is
Well,
not.
and with that, it also comes down to the because I can't get out and play, or like because of distance and stuff, you can't get out and play every weekend. They're less inclined to work with you, regardless of size of channel,
Yeah.
unless you make the large travels.
And and it's harder and harder. And with the economy, it's getting harder and harder to do.
Hmm.
Like, I know my show, and I think we've talked about it with you, Scorley. Behind the scenes, we've talked. It's like we have to sit down at the beginning of the year. We go, okay, how many big events can I afford
Yeah.
to hit this year? And you
Yeah.
have to schedule that out. I mean, I would love to hit a big event twice a month. I would love that. But financially, mm-mm,
Yeah.
no,
No.
there's no way.
And that's and like you said earlier with the Midwest thing, that's it's passion that drives.
Mm,
Like I can catch a handful of games a year.
yeah.
It's trust me.
We're starting to get more and more of them out here. Starting to see a lot more events and games. I can't wait for this upcoming year. But it's, in my opinion, Florida's an up and coming market, but it's taken us a while to get there.
Hmm.
It's been slow coming, and I feel for you guys out in the Midwest.
Uh,
Oh man, that would be hard. Yeah.
It's like you're in the desert.
Oh,
But oh yeah, it's yeah. Like I said earlier in this one, guys. This subject is radically, this divide is not a straight line. It's not. It's
No.
not one thing. It's all over the place. It's multiple fractures that I think that aren't even really that big. They can be fixed. It can be repaired. It just
And I
takes.
really hope they do. I
It,
mean,
it just takes listening to the community. Um, not like not word for word. Not listening to the vocal, like the loudest minority type thing, but at the same time taking bits and pieces from everywhere. Don't be afraid of criticism. Um, and take it as constructive criticism. Adjust, change, ebb and flow, because especially we've mentioned it multiple times. Like I said, we're not going to get into it, but prices on everything have gone up. It's just a matter of fact of everything, and they're going to keep going up. It is what it is.
there's
Um,
nothing we can do about
so at this point in time, with the markets shifting into more expensive, this is where you need to lean into everywhere in your community, big, small, in between, West Coast, East Coast, Midwest. Just lean, build, expand, grab on, hold tight, and give everybody a nice big bear hug. Like,
and communicate. I mean, the biggest, if you're wanting to work with airsofters or you're wanting to work with YouTube influencers and you're a company out there and say, I'll throw myself up as an example. I'm not going to put anybody else out there or any company. I'll just use myself. And you want to work with me and you're like, I want you to review this item. Communication. That is the key
no,
thing out there. If we work together, we can make this great. But it can't just be a one-sided thing. Planning, organization, and communication. Those are
yeah,
the keys to keeping a good business running. And I think this is just like any other business. And another thing, I want to say this to some of the owners out there: trust your employees. Some of you guys have got some of the best, most knowledgeable people in airsoft at your fingertips.
yeah,
Listen to them. Allow them to
100%.
do the job you've hired them to do. I've seen it several times with companies where bosses come in and last minute change things up, or they throw a curve into this. Not only wrong, it's your company. You own it. It's your right to do it. But I'm not going to say it's always the best business practice. You hire people to do a job, let them do the job. I
Yep.
mean, I've seen some really good, knowledgeable people out there get stopped dead in their tracks when they were trying to set up some really good stuff.
Mm-hmm. 100% agree. Yeah, because like I said, it's like we said in the beginning of this. Like for me to say these things, it's obviously not on any of the people for like the base employees that interact with everybody. Like so far through most of that interaction that I've had with any and all of these companies, the employees are fantastic. They're obviously the ones that hold the
Yeah.
company up. They're the ones that actually
Mm-hmm.
try to intertwine the company within the community as much as possible, and sometimes the stranglehold technique type thing feeling like it comes in.
Like what I was told one time in the military about leadership. Leadership is not knowing everything. Leadership is knowing how to dedicate the responsibilities to the people underneath you to get everything done.
Hmm.
That's the key of being a good boss right there. Knowing which employees you have, what they're good at, and allowing them to do what you've brought them in to do. When you get all in that and you're over every aspect of it, man, it can be difficult from the customer's perspective. Like I've seen events where it's like, okay, what's the rules? Did the rules change again? What's going on now? And that can be frustrating. It really
Oh
can.
yeah, yeah, 100%. It's oof. So yeah, but I think we well uncovered where I needed to get my rant slash discussion out. Um, in the best way I feel possible, so nobody's feelings get hurt or butt hurts happen, and we can all move and grow and get past this like adults. Um, and this is all just in my way of trying to continue what I do on this channel, of bringing stuff up that I think it just gets silenced or just doesn't get brought up because people don't want to make waves or maybe get in trouble. Um, but guys, it's constructive criticism. Speak up. Silence is essentially death. Um,
Mhm.
it's one of those things where if you don't say anything, nothing's gonna get fixed. So that's where I feel like I had to say my piece about it. Like I said, it really got under my skin for a while, but I'm just moving on, moving past it. Stepping stone, done. uh, so if anybody else has any questions, comments, concerns, or their own little tidbits on what you feel you have felt in the divide between retailers and the community in the airsoft world, please join the Discord. Link is in the description. Or here in the chat. Let me know. I am curious to hear everybody's stories or their sides or points of views. Please no rage fanboys. I don't need to deal with that.
Yeah, come on, guys. We don't need that today.
That's like middle school childish shit. But I'm always curious to hear everybody's stories and sides. Because like I said, if it's not talked about, nothing will change or happen. So, or you can just say your piece to whatever store, retailer, event promoter, whoever, directly to them. And hopefully they actually listen to it, take the constructive criticism, and make changes.
And
Because
even if
guys,
they don't, keep
ahead.
doing it.
Yeah.
Don't stop. Keep going out there. Keep making your voice heard. I don't like to see that people are like, well, I stopped even bringing it up because it didn't seem like anything was getting done. Well, that's not going to help it get done.
And in all reality, if you keep voicing complaints, concerns, and all those things in a polite, respectful manner, don't Karen on people.
Yeah.
But if that doesn't continue to warrant change, and especially if you're not the only one saying it and change still doesn't happen, that's when I always say, then start speaking with your wallet. Because if they're not willing to make changes to make every experience better and help grow the community into a bigger and better thing, then just let them know and respectfully walk away. So, with all that being said, I must first say thank you so much, Ghost, for being on tonight.
I'm so glad I could come on. I guess I've kind of been caught up in some of these type of situations a little bit in the last few weeks, so it's kind of the perfect person to come on here and do this with. I'm glad you got it out, and it's being talked about, because the only way it can be fixed is for it to get out and get talked about. I want to make sure that none of these companies feel like we're attacking them or anything else. I actually want to see them all get better, because the better they get, the better our hobby, our sport gets, the better everything is all the way around. Again, I want to see this go to another level. I want to see it blow up into a completely different thing. But we got to fix it down here at the grassroots first for it to get better up there.
Yep, 100%. I agree wholeheartedly, Ghost. And of course, he's already done his own advertisement things during the show. But of course, I've linked his channel down in the description below. Go give Ghost a subscribe, support the channel, hit the like, get him to that 100 subscriber mark, because I'm going to support my friend.
Please. Let's get up to there. Let's keep this going. Let us know what you guys have got going on. Squirrely, again, thank you so much for having me on. It is always a blast to come on. If anybody wants to see me in person, September 27th, I will be in Charleston, South Carolina at Operation Shadowlands. I can't wait to get out there. That is with Team Shadow Airsoft. We're going to be competing. It's going to be a great event at that one. If anybody wants to come out, see me, hang out, I'll be there. In the meantime, man, support my boy Squirrely down here. Make sure you guys keep showing up and seeing what's going on with his stuff. That's how you're going to get that information and news.
Yep. And guys, I do have more stuff from Operation Blacklist coming out. I also have a couple of reviews that I still got coming for you. So keep your eyes peeled on the channel for updated videos. And of course, we still have our streams every Monday and Wednesday. And we're planning the next Cancel of Airsoft Dudes for later this month. Well, later January. So, guys, thank you all for coming. I appreciate every single one of you. You're amazing, beautiful, wonderful people. Let's keep growing this airsoft community into something great, grand, and wonderful. And until next time, never ever forget your battle cry. Nee!